My name is Jen Moulton. I live in Austin, Texas. I like making jewelry, pottery, and leather goods. For me, handmade goods come down to like an heirloom quality. Growing up when I was little, I loved playing with my grandmother's jewelry. She was like a jewelry collector, and I always played with their wedding rings because they were engraved, and so I could see like my grandparents and my great-grandparents and their history together when they got married. And I think that just stuck with me from a young age. My mom was really creative. She's always appreciated handmade goods. She took us to craft fairs when we were little and like just started educating us and exposing us to it. Took art classes up until I was 18, and then when I went to college, I'm like, no, I have to fit into this mold that I thought was right. I wanted certain things, but I couldn't find them, so I decided to start making them. And friends and family were like, I want to buy that, so I was like, I'll start an Etsy shop. For me, it was an outlet at night. I would come home from work and just play around and mess around and make things. I'm a 3D person, that's the way I see things, so I don't really sketch anything out. I just like working in the materials. I've been getting into wax carving recently. The way that you can get wax into a metal state is through a process called lost wax casting. It's an ancient process. So when you carve a wax like this, then you make a mold, and this is the mold from this ring. So what you do is you put wax in here and create multiple versions of like this ring, for instance, if I wanted to cast a few of these. You put plaster around your wax, and then you put it in a kiln and you burn off the wax so that you have a hollow place where the wax was. And then in a centrifuge, you heat metal up to a molten state. You've just poured the metal in. So the metal shoots in to your steel tube to take the place of where this wax was. Starting to work in pottery, I've been thinking more in a sculptural way, whereas I used to work solely in metal and just fabricate each piece as I went along. I got into it thinking I would make displays for when I did shows and also make little dishes for custom jewelry, but I ended up getting really into it, so I got a wheel and I've been practicing here. I love working in porcelain. It's really, really hard to do, but it's what I've always wanted to work in, but it's so beautiful once it's fired. So this is kind of how it starts out in a ball. This is my mess up scrap pile. And these are after they've been thrown, but before they've been trimmed. So you can see they're kind of like, have like fatter bottoms and it's a little messy down there. And so I'll cut like little foot rings in all of them and take off some of the weight right here so that they have a better silhouette and a nice shadow on the bottom. Almost 5 years ago, I was working on a career path that I thought I should be pursuing, and I was feeling creatively disconnected, but also I was trying to work on something in the evenings and trying to make it work. Ended up having a huge health issue. I had cancer when I was 24, and that really shook me to my core, as I think it does. It makes you evaluate things, and so that year I went through treatment and I had surgeries, and I remember the clarity that comes from like kind of being in that place of suffering, but also you're not like worried about everyday stuff because you're like, I just have to get through this. So that kind of mental clarity of just being able to think really clearly and be really in touch with, like, for me, it's like my gut. I just remember sitting at my mom's dining room table, and my husband, Matt, he was actually my fiance then, was sitting across the room. I was like, Matt, when we moved down to Austin, I really have to go at it full time and try and just give it a chance. He's always been really supportive, and he, believes in my work, and he trusts me and believes in me too. For me, having a health scare so young, and everything that you had planned is kind of like up in the air. And I think we all at some point go through that, where we have something that kind of snaps us awake, and we're like, evaluate everything and make sure we're practicing what's important to us every day. I knew that I would have to have things in place to help me kind of start a new path that's scary and it's also unclear. So that's kind of where classes came in for me, rounding out my skill set, having something to focus on and having something to spend my time on that was forcing me to like get out and learn new things and just become like a normal person again. For me, I believe it happened for a reason. I feel like I needed something like that serious to wake me up, because I really believe I would have kept pushing down the path that I was on because I thought that I was doing something right. You know, no one has any guaranteed time, and so what am I really supposed to do and not what I think I should do or what I think other people want me to do.